Nice to see such a big crowd here, and we're happy to be back in Minsk again. Let's go ahead and start. Sorry, my name is Panu. I'm CEO at Startup Sauna. Let's go ahead and start with the bold fact, which is that building companies is hard. I'm sure everyone here agrees with it and has experienced the pain at some point in their life. But for some reason, it seems to be so that it's easier in the States. They have more venture capital there, more startups there, their valuations are bigger, and there's more activities going on all the time. Why is that? Even though the technical talent we have in this region, Nordics, Baltics, Eastern Europe, and Russia, is equally as good. We have good technical universities, there's good research going on here, so what's the difference here? The conclusion we came to is that they're actually better at building businesses. So they don't just focus on the tech. They don't focus on building the coolest gadget, the coolest software, but they actually put a lot of time and effort into making it into a viable business. And that's why Startup Sauna was founded in 2010. And in short, what we do is we accelerate the most promising startups from Nordics, Baltics, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Here's an alumni of ours from fall 2014 called them Brightly, and they said quite nicely that Startup Sauna is like a fight club. They take you apart and put you back together in a better way, and that sums up our attitude and our ways of working quite nicely, I think. And here's our program sort of curriculum. So we do 2 programs every year. Here on the left side you have the topics covered in the program. There's other ones, but these are the big topics. And as you can see, they're very much focused on the business side of developing your startup. And then here on the right side, you can see the means we deliver these topics to you. So we do 5-week programs, and actually these 5 topics are sort of the topics for each week, and then these 5 sort of ways of delivering those are each day of the week has a certain thing we do. So for example, each Monday we have founder talks. There are entrepreneurs coming in, sharing their stories and their learnings from their lives. And Tuesdays we do quite a lot of pitching, Wednesdays one-on-ones, and so on. You get the point. And the people doing all this are our coaches. So we have about 70 coaches from Finland and a few from abroad. Serial entrepreneurs, investors, other industry experts who have been working with startups for quite some time already. Come and share their knowledge, share their network with you guys, and then through them, the network really is quite big. Here's our schedule now for this spring. So since the beginning of March, we've been touring. So we do about 15 to 20 local events around this region. From there, we then select the teams for the program, which will this spring run from the beginning of May to the beginning of June. And we'll have our demo day in our conference called Arctic 15 in Helsinki on June 2nd and 3rd. After each program, we invite about half of the teams from the program to join us on a trip to London to meet with investors and other key players there. So there's that also. And then in November and December, all the startups who are accepted into our program get also free access to Slush, which is another conference in Helsinki. Is there someone here who doesn't know what Slush is? Okay, I'll just quickly show you a video.
There's something happening in the Nordics. It's one of the highlights of my year. I mean, you just come here and you see all the passion, all the energy.
It's down to earth, and it's a good mix between PCs and startups and bigger companies, and more people, they take time to come here.
It's quite mind-blowing. It's an amazing setup, great venue, great people.
It is a lifetime experience.
We like the grittiness of the startup culture, and you see a lot of that here, so it's very inspiring. You are event host, like that. Startups is exceptional.
The meeting and scheduling system was really good here.
This is the place to go to find rockstar teams.
Yeah, getting a chance to catch up with people all around the world. I need to be on stage in 25 minutes. I'm a little nervous, but this is a demanding audience.
Just as of this minute, we are announcing that we raised $57 million.
The original vision of the internet was the correct one.
In fact, the Bitcoin network is faster than the 500 top supercomputers combined.
To create a startup buzz like this is unheard of. This is such an incredible movement, in Finland, but it's really a movement around the world.
I feel like this is about to be an experience that changes so many people's lives.
Next year, the crowd will come back.
And this year, like I said, Slush will take place in November, December. So in a nutshell, again, Startup Sauna, we do 2 programs every year, both lasting for 5 weeks, focusing very heavily on the business side. And the companies who get selected get access to Arctic 15 and Slush, and then we invite them on a trip with us to London, or some of them after the program. And for this spring batch, we actually teamed up with a fresh Finnish venture capital company called Superhero Capital, who promised to invest 100K into one of the companies in our upcoming batch. So there's also that to compete for. But still, we're a non-profit player, meaning that we don't ourselves invest into companies. Our program is free. We don't take any equity. Our events are free. We're in the business of helping startups instead of making money. So, and we've been doing so since the beginning, and it's really deep down in our roots. So that's Startup Sauna. So a few of our alumni companies. Here are a couple names you might recognize from close by. But in total, we've done 12 batches already. We've seen thousands of startups around the region. In those 12 batches, we've had 173 alumni companies who have in total raised a bit short of $100 million after graduation. So we really know what's going on in this region and what kind of help the startups need. But why are we here today? What are we doing here? What are we looking for? We're looking for startups for our next spring program, and those startups should have good teams that can execute the vision they have and the product that they're working on. Their business should be truly scalable, so not only focusing on the Belarusian market or Russian market, but something that you can apply to anywhere in the world and can truly scale quickly. And the phase that you guys should be in at least is that you have some kind of working prototype, beta phase, pilot customers, or something going on that you can show and then you can sell. And then that's it. That's Startup Sauna. What we do is we accelerate the most promising startups from Nordics, Baltics, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Next, let's go through the agenda today. So once I'm done, we'll start the pitching. We'll go through all the 14 companies that we have here. Then around 12, we have a lunch break. Let's take an hour to network with each other, get some food. And then in the afternoon, we'll split you into 2 groups. One group will get to sit down, each company one-on-one with all the coaches, and the other one will get to have roundtable discussions with the coaches at their turn. And then we'll be done around 4 o'clock probably. Pitching, you have 3 minutes. I'll be timing you. I have all your slides. And from those pitches, the coaches will then select around 5 companies for the one-on-ones, and the rest will be for the roundtable discussions. One-on-one coaching will be 20 minutes per meeting. I'll be timing that as well. If you haven't done your homework yet, please check who the coaches are here. They're on our website, startupsauna.com/Minsk. So prepare some questions for the coaches so you know who they are and what they've done. So check their LinkedIn profiles and so on. And the roundtable discussions, the coaches will be giving a short talk, or they'll be there for you guys to cover a certain topic relevant to you guys, a generic startup topic like team building or raising funding or something. And then after that, once we finish, the coaches will select 1 to 4 top performers, and those top performers will be shortlisted for our up-and-coming program. So those top performers will be in the next phase of our selection, and we'll be asking for some more material, and they're that one step closer to being in our program. And from all these events we do, we select the top performers, and you can generalize that the top performers are within the top 10% of the applicants, and we already have over 600 applicants for our sprint program, so it's already a fairly good job if you end up there. Good. Without further ado, let's have the coaches introduce themselves shortly. So, guys, 1 minute pitches.
Yes. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jakob Storo. I'm a co-founder at Superhero Capital. You saw our logo up on the screen a few seconds ago. So, Superhero Capital is a venture capital firm focusing on seed investments in business-to-business software startups. So we look for superhero teams that we can help build companies. Yeah, first time for me in Minsk. Happy to be here. Looking forward to your pitches and talking to you later on. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Torsti from Pivot 5, used to be called Catch. An accelerator and investor in startups and early seed phase companies, also from universities. We've done 4 exits, all of them were more than $10 million with our portfolio companies. Individually, we have been doing this for 18 years already. So I've seen startups and I've seen early stage companies. I'm very keen on finding today dangerous, globally scalable ideas and startups in here. And I will also say if I don't see them, I'm allowed in that sense. Good luck.
Hi everyone, I'm Saku from Helsinki Ventures. It's a boutique accelerator. I'm a stage investor in Helsinki. So we basically invest mostly in B2B companies in IoT, marketing technologies, media technologies, and that. My background is in marketing, communications, branding. I mean, everything related to that. So that's something you might want to discuss with me. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Anton. I'm from Belarus. Actually, I'm not from the Startup Sauna team. I'm from Microsoft. I'm here to connect the dots between the startups and Microsoft customers. So probably some of you already know me. Those that I haven't met yet, I will be happy to meet you. Probably we will have something to talk about.
Then we have the 5th coach.
He will be at 1 p.m. like just for mentoring session.
Okay, so it'll be just for the 1 hour. Okay, no worries. That's fine. All right. So let's get into the pitching. Please take your time, but don't take too much of it. So you have 3 minutes. Ignore your slides, and if you can, just show us the product and show the traction that you have. I'll be timing you guys. So when my watch goes off, that means your 3 minutes is up. And since we have so many companies, I will actually stop you at the 3 minutes. So once the timer goes off, last sentence finished. It doesn't matter if you're at the end of your presentation or in the middle. When the timer goes off, you need to stop. And then we'll have a few minutes of questions and feedback from the coaches, and then we'll go on. So let us get started. Order is alphabetical, except Lacey wanted to be first. So let's have Placey on stage. Yeah, you're. Yeah. I need to take the other part from the computer. That's me. Okay. And please, when you pitch, please try to be loud or use a microphone so everyone can hear you.
I think we use my voice. So, can everybody hear me? Yep. Yes. Good morning. My name is Nikita. So I'm from the company Placey. So it's a mobile engagement solution for the rail industry. So we believe that the core of the team, or the core of the company, the heart, the people, here we are. So we are not newcomers. So we have pretty much experience in various fields. So what we do, basically we connect the physical world with digital world. So mainly we target now on tourist venues that want to earn more money with the help of mobile technologies. What we do, we create a platform that helps these tourist venues create quests that help engage people. They have this quest published on the web, and it's Google-like platform, and then the customers get these quests on their mobile phones the time they come to this venue. So mainly what we do, we help these customers earn more money, and we help them gather more insights about their offline audience, and we help them implement bring your own device concept when they do not need to spend money for hardware like self-guided tools and audio guides and all this stuff. What we help our users, so we help to communicate, for example, for parents with their teenage kids. So we unite them or help them have the same activity together. And for teenagers, we give them a universal time killer, and boring activities like visiting museums turn into fun. So basically, it's all about treasure hunting and or scavenger hunt. So it's all this stuff. Again, what's our secret sauce? It's a mobile app, Google Play-like platform for creating, publishing, selling these quests, and we make indoor navigation with the help of beacons and with augmented reality. And this turns into interactive indoor navigation. So it's the steps how the quests look like. We'll show you the demo. Let's skip this. What about market? The market is growing, so I think it's every market is growing you've heard today. So basically, it's some numbers show that we are right. I want to draw your attention to this point. We are not targeting only on travel, but the corporates, large corporates and conferences, universities could be also the lucrative market that could pay money for interaction of how engage customers. Competitive types is not really vivid yet, this slide, but the main point here is that we have several types of competitors. The first one is tourist venues that do something on their own with their own mobile departments. Then there are some ISVs, like we are, startups that leverage all this stuff, gamification, indoor navigation in VOD concept. And there are some laggards that do only bring your own device, that just transfer existing ideas to mobile without adding new gamification or new experience. So what we have now, so we have, okay, that's it. Thanks for your time. If you want more, so we are happy to hear what we might be interested in, some advice for EU to make an EU pilot project, and some folks, some guys for augmented reality also, you're welcome. So I'm ready to answer questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do have demo. Yeah, it's live. Yeah, just welcome.
So could you say a few words about the business model? How would you make money and
I'll pay for it.
Can
can I remote the presentation again? Okay. Yeah, we have a slide, but basically we have various types. It could be flat fee, it can be a revenue share model, it can be in-app or native advertising. No. Actually, that distraction didn't. Yeah, here it is. Free to play for users, venues pay flat fee. So it can be $1 per user, or if you want a flat fee for event. So you can have revenue share. So average excursion, this kind of quest can cost from $5 to 20. So we have kind of revenue share from this one. We do have a white label partner in Ukraine, so we want him to pay a flat fee for franchise, right, and have some kind of maybe revenue share with him. We also do have in-app native ads, so once you finish a quest, you can display user you want, your crate, your superhero, and heavy souvenirs from this awesome place you visited, or it could be, I don't know, partners advertising, or we also have a kind of hints. Once you got stuck and you want somebody, you don't have a clue what to do next, you can pay 50 cents or pay $1 and get again hit what could be next. So if you see it, I know you to be honest, sorry guys, you look too old. I know if you played Assassin's Creed, there is a game so when the main guy who's walking there is like having a supervision when he can get stares at the wall and gets a hint what should he do next. Basically, we can do the hints with the help of, I don't know, it will give you advice, or it can be augmented reality when you pick up your phone, just stare at the wall and get, I don't know, your QR code and you get a hint. And then we can, of course, we can do it. Or if you want to cheat, because if you are too old, and you want to pass your grandpa with your grandson, you want to outpass this nasty teenagers, and you could just pay some cash. Yeah, please welcome.
How many times have you been bitching before?
It's too bad or it's too good?
So you obviously know the answer.
Actually,
so
this presentation is my first pitch.
Yeah,
that's why I got on
really messy. It should be next teams, please be better in this. You know, it was really messy. And then the other part is that the competition. I think that you really have to check the competition really carefully because I know plenty of applications that are similar.
It's huge.
The problem is that you didn't excite me at all with this presentation. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. To be honest, it's the best way is to excite our users, not that they.
How much of this is ready already? How much?
You mean we do have an app, we have a web platform, and we have a community of 10K people worldwide that play for fanatics or with do.
Okay, so let's see that in the launch break then. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Thanks
for your time.
Next up, we have IMAGURU.
So let me introduce IWish, an online gift management platform helping wishes come true. Billions of people from all over the world ask Google every month on what is the best gift to give to their family and friends. At the same time, their family and friends suffer from useless and undesired gifts they receive. So people often just do not know what to give at the present or where to find any relevant information. So by combining wish listing, social networking, and marketplaces, we create a single place where everyone is able to find a perfect gift for anyone and for any occasion. By combining at this single place, you're able to manage all your activities dealing with the birthdays and other celebrations held by your friends, along with discovering your friends' best wishes, ordering those gifts, creating your own wish list, and keeping up with all the coming up events held by your family and friends. Our target audience are women from 18 to 32 years old, the so-called millennial generation, who virally involve their family and friends from other generations as well as men. Our monetization model is selling subscriptions to the stores within their products to be wished by our users. Our team consists of 4 members, the visionary, she's now in Poland, 2 developers, and a social media marketing specialist. Our main competitors are wishlists and registries of all the kinds, but we're better than they because we collect all close people at a single place, offering them the ability to choose from a variety of different products along a large number of different stores. We're currently at the stage of building the prototype application, which is almost complete, so we have already contacted the stores, and most of them are willing to cooperate with us. We've also held a presentation in front of our target audience, and 96% of them left their emails willing to participate in beta testing. Here we are looking for a mentor and for regional sales partners where I wish helping wishes come true. Thank you.
You have about 30 seconds on the clock, so you can slow down a bit.
Okay. This is the first time I'm doing the pitch, so
it wasn't too bad.
No. So you said the magic product itself, there are plenty of wish lists. So
yeah.
Why another? And
because
subsequently, how do you differ from them? You somehow touched the issue, but it wasn't clear enough.
The main problem is that you have a long variety of different wish lists, and you have to go around those wish lists, looking at the wishes of your friends. But our benefit is that we collect everything at one place. We are providing addictive UI, something similar to Pinterest, where you can take a look at the different products offered by your local stores. So you can just scroll down the line and choose the gifts you wish to receive, and everything is at one place. We have notifications, we have all the friends and your family members at one place. So this is everything aggregated in a single application.
Other questions or comments?
I'd say if you would have said this is a matchmaking place for birthdays and merchants.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
This would be a matchmaking place for merchants and then birthdays and celebrations.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like a little bit more clever, like targeting advertising.
Yeah, we offer the stores the hottest clients. So basically, we're integrating with the store. They're giving us the list of products. We're integrating with the application, and then those products are being displayed according to the interests or some taggings which users are entering during the registration.
Who is a typical merchant? A small one or a big one?
It doesn't matter, actually.
Because there's Facebooks and places like that, they already have these, clever algorithms showing that when a birthday is coming, so you have to be much better than that.
Yeah, and we are going to do that.
Yeah, and usually when you need this sort of a app or service or whatever, it's already you're in trouble and you're too late of getting anything. So I mean, then you see that, oh, here's a perfect present. It's from Canada. It takes 4 weeks to get to you. It's like it doesn't help you.
Yeah, but we are going to integrate with the local stores based on your geographical location. So this is not about 4 weeks. This is about a couple of days to get the gift received.
Just make it like 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're helping.
I think one hint is that, be very honest with the competition. That who is doing something similar today, you have to really like open that into a slide.
Yeah,
which is much more easier than to understand what are you doing differently.
Yeah, actually there are a lot of different wish lists and registries. So
and Facebook and Google.
Let me say it this way. Actually, those wish lists and those aggregators offer not the real products, but they offer shit. So just like gift cards or some souvenirs or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're providing people with the ability to choose from a real product.
Yeah.
For example, if I want a boat or I don't know, shoes, I can wish those shoes and everyone sees this wish, and then I receive the thing that I desire, but not another shitty gift card.
Yeah, but I mean that's the real problem. The real problem is that the current wish lists are not good enough.
Yeah.
That's the problem, not the problem that you have. So think about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. Stop. We have change again.
Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? Alright. My name is Mariana and I'm from Change Again. Change Again is a great tool that allows you to create A/B testing. But first of all, we will have to talk what A/B testing actually is. I'm sure you have many ideas on how to change your website to increase your revenue, but how can you know that your ideas will work? Well, A/B testing can give you some answers. But A/B testing allows you to create another version of a web page and see if this one works better. And if it does, it will lead to an increase in your revenue. But what's the problem with A/B testing? Well, it is actually very difficult to create an experiment because you need too many skills. You need coding skills, you need designing in your time. That's why we decided to create our own tool. We analyzed the market. We analyzed about 1 million of all companies, and we understood that about 57% of all companies use Google Analytics. That's why we decided to create a tool which will be based on Google Analytics. And the main advantage of our tool is that we have a great visual editor. It is very easy to use Change Again. You just have to enter your website's address, and after that, you can change elements you want. And you can also use your goals and targeting from Google Analytics. Well, as to the market is growing. It grows by 50% each year, but only 7% of our companies use A/B testing. Well, why so? Probably because they don't have a great one. As to our competitors, I can say that we have the following advantages. First of all, when choosing Change Again, you don't have to pay for impressions for the traffic. You pay only for the number of experiments you create. Then it is about our data accuracy. Our data accuracy is really high. It is about 99% because the data goes directly to Google Analytics, and Google Analytics is very reliable. And then it is about our visual editor, as I already mentioned. You don't need to have any coding skills for using Change Again. Then we have a subscription-based business model. We have term plans, and our starting price is $50 each month. Well, our target audience is e-commerce companies, sales companies, and actually every company that cares about their conversion rate. And we already have some paying customers, and during the last month, more than 20 companies created their first experiment with Change Again. Well, we have some plans for the future. Of course, we are going to reach the target of 200 paying customers in 12 months. Well, and we are sure we will be able to do that because we have a great team that can deal with the challenge of building a profitable company. I guess that's it. Thank you for your time.
You have a bit over 30 seconds left, so you can slow down a bit.
Okay.
So does your service include everything I need to do A/B testing, visual editor and analytics side?
No, well, we provide only a visual editor, and your data goes directly to Google Analytics. We don't analyze your data because when comparing, for example, Optimize with our competitor, they have some differences between their data and data of Google Analytics. For example, we don't want to cause any troubles for you, so data goes directly to Google Analytics. Okay.
So in essence, it's cheaper and easier to use than Optimize.
We don't use any analytics services, so it's very cheap, and you just pay only for the experiments. It doesn't depend on how much traffic we have.
Does it work with like just parts of the website so that the company actually can use it constantly, all the time, testing every month? That's the idea.
Yes. We have, for example, our tier plan includes unlimited websites, unlimited experiments for the company. So yeah.
Okay. So you have some customers already. What have you heard from them regarding the visual editor? How fast can they try to develop different layouts and test them? Do you have any
Yeah,
information on that?
actually our customers love our visual editor because, for example, some editors and tools don't have them. So, well, and they say that, well, they really do love that. And some companies have some problems. Well, they don't have a person who can create A/B testing experiments. So we can help with that too. We can provide a person who knows what to test, how to change everything. Well, yeah.
How does it work with existing platforms, especially in the e-commerce side? I mean, imagine that they are using Magento, for example.
Mm-hmm.
How can your visual editor actually tackle with Magento platform?
Well, it can. Well.
So basically saying that there's a different tool that they use for visuals.
Mm-hmm.
And then your tool is green on top of that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It really work. That's interesting.
Well, we can talk about it later. That's
Okay.
an interesting question, yeah.
Okay.
One comment is your product is already out there. Did you actually show the product? Did you have an actual like screenshot or picture?
No, we don't have it yet.
Have one slide showing the actual what it looks like.
Yeah.
Product.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the presentation. Yeah.
We're sorry to find out. Well, probably we can show our demo version later.
Okay.
Because we can have my story.
Cool. Anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
Next up, we have DD Scanner.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I'm a young alcoholic. While traveling, I always try to find some time for exploring local Android attractions, but these attractions can be unpredictable. At that time, that was Cuba. The holiday was really awesome and nothing seemed to spoil it, except diving. 4 hours just to find the secret dive center. And I was almost a death dog because my tank let the air out. I haven't got anything. And have you ever wasted your life like this? If yes, I'm really sorry for you. But if no, I'm here to defend all divers, and that's what we've got.
You can breathe underwater. It's your time now. Show the superpower together with DD Scanner. Thousands of best dive sites, amazing information, and real photos are in your mobile device. Choose a perfect dive site. Contact one of the highlighted dive centers and get ready to be shaken. DD Scanner makes you dive wherever you are. Download our free app and let's retrieve the unforgettable. No hours, anywhere, anytime, together with DD Scanner.
Sounds good? And now some numbers. Our market is estimated at about $7 billion, and our pot is the most enticing one, the piece of cake that no one can eat. And we are targeted, we have our app, and we are targeted at divers who make up their minds on the spot. And our competitors, our industry is divided into 2 parts. The first is occupied by marketplaces with booking by request opportunities, and the second is another niche. It is a little bit different, and it is our niche. It is vacant. We are targeted at divers who make up their minds on the spot, and our system is closely connected with dive center CRM system. It means that you have only actual offers and direct support from the supplier. Our business model is simple. It is based on getting 10% commission from the sales of dive trips through our app. And now let's meet our amazing team. We have huge experience in travel industry, IT development, and a very strong will to master diving. And now, our attraction and plans. The first prototype was created in the end of November during the hackathon, and all the data has been gathered by hand. And it really took us a lot of help and a lot of time, of course. And now our app is in a testing mode. We are getting some feedbacks from the divers all over the world, and I can say that things go right. But there is one thing that can ruin our plans, is that the 7 Seas drive. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, the presentations are getting better. That's good. What does this real-time mode mean?
Now, in the real-time mode, for example, you download our app and you are on some islands, I don't know, for example, in Thailand, in Phuket, and you see a lot of dive spots and a lot of places that you can dive now. So you can book now, and they are like actual offers that you can even book even just now, without, for example, tomorrow or later. You want to dive now, so you can book them now.
But then is the availability right now?
Yeah, right.
I think there's competition in that part as well. We met one similar company. Let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
You have some competition.
Yeah, we have some competitors.
How are you going to run together all these merchants that are, offering stuff? I mean, it's a big job. How do you do that?
Yes, it's a big job just to pick up these dive sites. Now there are just 6,000 dive spots, but we are going to improve it. We are going to find some more information because we have very huge network of people who work for us and who do this. They are our freelancers, and they just do it manually every time. So we are going just to develop our system. Now it's only 6,000, but later it's going to be much bigger.
How do you get the real-time information from 6,000 spots around the world? If there's a free spot in half an hour or not?
I get you, because we have another project, and it's operational software, and we are going to connect this project together, and that is how we are going to work. And we are going to work this info, because with the help of this project, and we are going to connect with other dive centers who will give us this information. Like cooperation, we are going to cooperate. Now it is informative now, and in future we have a lot of plans and a lot to develop.
Do these merchants, I call them merchants, these service offerers, do they also have a mobile app that they can actually be online all the time, so that they can actually...
No, they have no mobile apps.
Okay, but how do they then give the real-time information?
They do not give real-time information. They just show all the information about different dive spots. And there is one like good service, but it is paid. You have to pay $6 for the information, for complete information for all the dive spots. But we are going to be a free app, and to show this information just for free.
How do you acquire customers or users for the app? Are they through Paddy and CMS and all these organizations, or?
Yeah. We have a very huge network of divers, because the co-founder of our project, he's diver, and his network is quite extended. So first of all, we are going to give them this application, this app, in order to test or something like that, because now we have 50 divers who test our app, and in future we are going to promote our app through this network, through our way and something like that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's have Dora Pusher.
Get ready, I have a short. So hi, my name is Paolo, and I'm presenting with Data Pusher. With Data Pusher, it's for cybersport viewers to motivate professional teams. With Data Pushers, loyal fans can have cash prizes for their favorite team. Team only get these cash prizes for winning. So the bigger the prizes, the more the motivation of the team is to win. With Data Pusher, professional teams get new opportunities to earn more money from their fans, and fans get more spectacular matches and belonging to a victory. And most active fans can obtain unique bonuses from the team, like, for example, the chance to play with them online. And that's a great reward for fans. And for market, we are targeting Dota 2 game right now, but it's not limited to it. Overall, sports market is estimated as around $500 million this year, and will double in the next 3 years. The audience is already about 100 million viewers worldwide. As for existing alternatives, currently professional teams do rare occasional sales of like branded merchandise, but that's not structured. And on the same time, viewers, they already give donations to people who stream their play, so they're like willing to give money to professionals. As for business model, Data Pusher is monetizing by taking commissions from transfer payments. In the team, we have experienced developers, and I have way plus development management experience in IT. As of now, we already built functioning prototype. It's live, and currently we are looking for esports organizations to partner, like professional teams or tournament organizations. That's it. Thank you. Any questions?
So remind me, why would fans collect prizes or seats?
So it's like the top donators, like they are participating in the draw of the 10 out prizes. So like top 20.
Yeah, but why would, if I'm a fan of whatever esports team, why would I want to put my time into collecting €1,000 from other people?
So we collect.
Or how do you work?
So you're a fan of the team and you want it to win, and it's currently played right now, or its game is scheduled, and you want your team to win. So you as like a crowd fan, it's like crowdfunding. You say, I'll give $5 if they win. It's like KPI-based crowdfunding. And then like the total price is, let's say, 5,000, and that's still a big money for even top teams. Then the team sees this price, and the bigger the price is, the more motivation. And then if you are like good enough with the fans community, if you're big enough, then you can make your team to win.
Remind me again, how do you make money?
Commission.
Okay.
Additionally, you explain, the size of the esports market on a broad level.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know is, more specifically, what's your opportunity and how much money are excluding in kind of this, reward side.
Yeah, so we write the RSA estimation for our partners was based on the audience. So if it's like 100 million, 10% will be donating like $5 per year, so like $50 million per year, like this kind of conditions. We estimated it this way.
So how do they earn the money at the moment?
Teams, sponsorship.
The sponsorship.
Yeah, mostly sponsorship.
Is it in real time? I mean, if they are playing at the moment, can I like real time show that there's more money coming?
They have every team has a manager, like a coach, and we like the manager knows his number in the real time, and it's up to him to decide how where to stay in the team.
Okay.
And the second thing is in esports, they normally have several games, like they have 3 games, like sets in the tennis. So then they have like pause in between. So the first, like they lose the first game, the score is 0-1, but they have like 2 remaining, and they have pause in between.
Yeah, I was just thinking that could this be also a game-like experience?
Sorry?
That this service could be also a game-like service that you put money into different teams and they actually see that.
Yeah. It's actually, and if it's a tournament, we can put like a table, with real-time ticker.
Yeah.
If it's a tournament in a venue.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, thank you. Good. Next up, we have products.
Good
morning, everybody. My name is Vladimir Davidov. I'm founder of Dronix, and we do have some heavy tech stuff in order to finally bring drone delivery to the market. Now, drones are the hot topic. They're basically the key to the multi-trillion logistics and e-commerce markets. Yet nobody pulled to deal with all the problems in order to bring them to the market. But we did. Let's start with the safety. We designed our own drone with a very high level of redundancy. It can lose 4 motors, both wings, burn the battery, and burn the autopilot, and still perform the mission. Now let's talk sensor voice systems. It can not only see the obstacles, but it can actually know in advance where the obstacles are and where the obstacles will be. Now, in case of a critical failure, if we have to fall down, we make sure that we'll not injure anybody. All the props are covered, and we make sure that the falling speed is very low. Now, if we're safe, let's talk about delivery everywhere. Now, we've invented and patented the landing station. It will take you 20 seconds to install it outside of your window, and then you can get your deliveries even if you live in a multi-story building. And the package will safely be there. Nobody will be able to steal it. It will wait up until you go home. Not only can you get the packages, but you can actually send them. Just open the window, put the package, close the window, put the button on the phone, and here we go. This drone can actually fly over 40 kilometers on one charge, and the battery swapping stations virtually makes this range unlimited. And now, from the technical standpoint, we are more advanced. Our system is more advanced than any competitor at the market, not at the market yet. This is how we managed to do this. This is just some of our very high-profile team. We plan to do the service model on a very high margin. Our marketing strategy is basically bringing the landing stations to the market, and we have some huge partners to do this with. At this stage, this is the first time we're raising money, 1.1 billion convertible notes. This will allow us to put up to $500,000 landing station in the market and be operational. Thank you very much.
Now, how much you have ready? I mean, you are now seeking money for the landing station.
We have
also talking about the drone itself.
Right. We have the working prototypes of everything.
Okay.
Landing stations, some battens, PCTs, and local stuff. Battery swapping station, landing station, and then we did some aerodynamics calculations, testing with the actual drone.
Who is the customer?
Well, we basically want to deal with the small businesses, and then we will provide a delivery for the customers of these businesses. So this is the e-commerce companies, logistics companies, so on and so forth.
So you're basically replacing all the last mile.
That is correct. That is correct. And the sell model is very nice. I mean, we've been talking with some huge billion-dollar e-commerce companies. Do you want us to do the deliveries? Yes, please. So the negotiation is like 1 hour. They're very open for the partners in this area. So actually, the technical challenge and the legal challenge are the main ones. We finished our working model in the beginning of 2015, and for the last year, mostly we've been working on the security and working with legislators in a number of countries. Now we have a green in Ireland, in Russia, and we're pretty close to deal with Lithuania and have some progress in the United States.
What is the business model?
It's a service model, so we basically do the delivery and charge for the delivery. That's it. You don't own the drone, you don't operate the drone, nothing. Service business. So let's just say you're the e-commerce company. A customer comes to your website, chooses one of the methods of the delivery. Probably that's going to be the drone one because it's like 100 times faster than anything else. And then the business charges the customer, and the business pays to us for the delivery that we provide. There are also peer-to-peer delivery, like if you want to send, I don't know, a piece of cake to your friend, just push the button, do the delivery, and charge you.
All right. From an investor perspective, you have two different businesses. You have this technology game, and then you have service business. Well, so it's really difficult to get funded if you have two different businesses.
Look at us as, let's just say, Google, a company that has a core technology, a unique technology, and even the market, that instead of selling this technology, it creates a longer value chain in order to provide a unique service with this technology. However, we do already have sales of the products based on this technology, like the millimeter precision landing. Nobody do this. Our Quantum Pilot allows you to land with a 2 mm precision and a battery swapping station. So there are many industries who need this. We do sell it already. But the main business and the main increase of the capitalization we see actually in the deliveries. We want some competitions with this model, right?
Isn't there like huge infrastructure challenge the landing stations?
Right.
That's a big question mark for me.
Well, the cost of landing station is a couple bucks. That's it. It's a piece of plastic. It's very cheap, and the lifetime value of the customer is probably the hugest one in the industry. I mean, the average price for the delivery in the countries that we're talking about is just say $10. The cost is only $0.50. So within 1 month, the customer can bring like $100 to us. I mean, the maximum. And with the cost of the lens extension, just a couple of dollars, we can simply give it to you for free. The main cost of the infrastructure is the battery swapping stations, and some measures we need to do in order to ensure the safe flights. But this is the cost of the infrastructure that can be shared with many companies. Actually, some of the governments are willing to pay for us just to get one, whether they have drone delivery or not. They just want to know the skies. They just want to make sure that the drones of all the industries, the inspections, the security can be safely integrated into space. So they can basically pay for this infrastructure for us. We can get this infrastructure and money at the same time.
Last question. You have met bulldozer Pekka, you have met Ricardo. Where do you need Startup Sauna? Why do you apply for Startup Sauna?
Well, I didn't apply yet. I haven't applied yet. I just come here, training stuff, and since we have our research and development team here, we're operating in Ireland actually. But as I said, the biggest challenge with this business model is not even the technology. Yet we believe we have the best one. The biggest challenge is the legislators and the dealing with the government, because in most of the countries it's forbidden right now. So we are actually widely searching for the countries and the assistance from the local guys within this country, and all be able to bring this business to them. Finland, really nice one. We also have a small directions working with the deliveries to the ships, and you have a very large port. So yeah, look, Finland is a great country for us as well.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, 80 days.
Hello, my name is Dmitry, and I'm not alone here today. Meet our team. We all love traveling, but we all hate spending weeks on planning routes. That's why we are creating 80 Days, an intelligent tour route planning system for independent travelers. Imagine, you buy the cheapest ticket from Vilnius to anywhere. For the next day, you book the next cheapest destination and repeat the scheme 9 more times. You will visit 10 cities with only 156 euros spent for all the flights. 10 cities, 10 unforgettable stories of your life, 10 unforgettable happy stories. But it will take you a week or even a month to plan such a tour on your own. You will hesitate whether I'm doing it right. Should I check another ticket, another destination? Very soon, Work will launch a system able to build such custom tours automatically for you within minutes. You set the start point, the finish point, period of time you want to travel, and cities to be visited within those number of cities. And get tours like this, or even this. Now my personal favorite part of the presentation. Please prepare your cameras, I hope you will need it. You will definitely need it. Our website. Yes, it is. Now a bit more serious for those who can't remember the original name of Nobel Prize was born around the world in 80 days in French. Thank you.
So when you talk about tours, do you mean the transportation, flights, or including accommodation or other things?
Yes, like basically now we're dealing with the flights. We'll also introduce trains and buses to the system, because you know sometimes in Europe it's much easier to get, I don't know, from Milan to Marseille by train. It will take less time and be more convenient, more cost efficient. Our system will also advise on hotels or apartments through booking.com or Airbnb.
So basically, it's a machine on top of the existing deal service.
Not quite existing like build services.
Momondos and super savers.
I'll explain. Okay. In Momondo or Skyscanner or whatever program to search tickets, you search a ticket from city A to city B. But we're given the whole route for you to visit.
But on Momondo and all those, you can pick your trip so that you go from Vilnius to whatever city and from there to another city and so on.
It was an illustration. What can you achieve in 10 days? It's a real tour. We built it. It is possible. The price is also real. It's just like a hardcore illustration of hardcore world. Our system will also be able to build such tours or light versions with 3, 4, 5 cities. It's your choice how many cities you're willing to visit and for how many days.
Is it, this is important to know, that is it some sort of technology that is valuable? I mean,
yes.
Is it somehow even IPR protected technology that we have?
We're planning to get a patent, but yes, it is a very complex algorithm behind this technology to solve the whole problem, to piece it all together in destination.
But then the question is, why do you want to have your own consumer service? Why don't you license this to Momondos and super savers?
That's a good question. Think about it, but all of us are really passionate travelers. First of all, we want to develop this valuable tools for, I don't know, thousands of people.
You should actually license it and let others make the market.
So you mean to license algorithms?
Yeah.
They have the customers who have the technology. Yeah. I mean, acquiring those customers, that's awfully expensive.
Yeah, you're right. We should think about it.
Right. Good. Thank you. Next up, we have Exponent.
Hello, my name is Daria and I'm here to present Exponenta, our startup idea. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm the founder of quite well-known magazine, Work, and I founded it 6 years ago, and our team is to produce viral articles with thousands of shares. And it makes me think about the nature of virality and how to shape the digital content itself in general. So one of my favorite philosophers, Alexander Bard, said that we have nothing to do with classical means of production nowadays. And well, what is the challenge in the internet era? How can we grab the attention of the audience? And my answer was about virality prediction engine. Or let's say influence shaping engine. So I came with this idea to a data scientist, an extremely smart guy with a PhD in physics, and he has 3 patents. And he said, yeah, we can do it. So I was pretty excited by this idea, and actually we're gonna develop in the next couple of months the prototype with the help of Dmitry, who is also in this room. So yeah, we know how to do it, and let me explain briefly how it works. First of all, we will create a prediction tool itself. The second step is a suggestion system. We'll suggest how to shape the publication in order to get the bigger shareability. And the next step is the seeding. We will find the most loyal audience in the internet for this exact piece of content. And our market is a native advertising market, one of the most trendy and fast-growing piece. Like you can see some numbers here, and our business model is made about subscription and also the partnership. We'll get the percent from the media when our clients will put the advertising here. And I'm happy to say that there are no direct competitors for sure. The technology exists, and Mashable and BuzzFeed are using similar technology, but it's their inner know-how, and they won't share it, obviously. But yeah. So what are we asking for? We ask for the mentorship. Obviously, we have 2 founders of local Belarusian companies, but we have no international experience, and we'll be happy to work with international experts. Yeah, so that's it. Questions? You have one.
Can you repeat what is who's the customer?
Mainly it's about content creators and advertisers who are interested in native advertising. Yes.
And you have specialized algorithms that are...
Yeah, we have a quite clear picture of how to develop it, and now we are starting to collect data from my side, and actually it will be the main platform for experiments. We will search for a perfect combination to deal with these metrics. So, yeah.
So how is this content already then like used? I mean, what is it a software or is it a service deal or how does it work?
It's a service.
Okay.
Yeah. So they will get the access for a short period of time to the tool, and will get the advantage of this tool in order to create the content.
Morning, everyone. We'll talk about corporate culture now. And, the main premise. Yeah, the main premise of the presentation that's basically almost no companies don't know how to manage corporate culture, and very few companies would have sufficient mobile communication tools for employees as well. So we've created a social enterprise network for the for the employees to communicate between each other. Basically, they distribute tasks, make announcements, create polls, so everything that a normal social communication network would have. But most importantly, we created the instrument to manage corporate culture. So how we do it? Essentially, we understand the values of the company, and then we profile the competencies. Well, we know that from standard approach. So, for example, if we take goal orientation, which is the key for any company to achieve result, and then we understand together with all the employees what it actually means exactly in the behavioral level. Then we go to a clear example of how this contributes to the value. And then we provide the instrument where everyone in the company can recognize the behavior and praise the colleague for that behavior and actually put it in a system where it can be further analyzed. So every time employee does that, he reinforces the behavior and he compares his own behavior to the values of the company. Essentially, this is the module, and we have plenty of modules, as I said, but this is a key for the products. This ability to show the gratitude. Then there is a unique module as well for assessing competencies in real time, which usually doesn't happen. If you're familiar with a classic approach to the competencies, we usually would need to do assessment center or so on. And so on the top of that, we have task managers, we have forums, we have support, we have profile, we have exchange of information for all the employees. So basically, the primary market is Russian-speaking companies exceeding 250 employees, and the secondary international companies. So this is scalable. Business model selling software and consulting services at the same time, whereas it could be sold without consulting services as well. The team is, for now, ideal to start and finish the development, but small to actually take it further. Correction, we already have a company that we agreed to run the testing with, and we have a complete prototype with design and all functionality ready in a month. So what we're here for, it's feedback from you guys and potential attraction of additional capital.
Thank you.
So how does this translate into actual, monetary value for your customers? What's the kind of the core value you can provide? They save money, make more money, and how?
Well, essentially, if you would open any large consultancy pages now, they say Boston Consulting, McKinsey, they all talk about values, and basically this is the main premise how to make employees effective. Because if they don't share the culture or they don't recognize the culture, they don't stay, they don't perform, there is no engagement.
So it's like productivity, you
exactly.
can do more in less time.
This is an engagement and productivity enhancement. Yeah. Both. And since there is a connectivity and interaction between teams, this is what it's all aimed at. This enhances the teamwork, enhances the communication, and shortens the communication, and it constantly reinforces the desired behavior of executives.
I think it's important to talk to potential customers and translate this into kind of like monetary value. Will they save money and how much more productive will the teams be?
Absolutely. Well, not in 3 minutes, but yes, we have it.
Yeah. Is it a campaign-based, or is it somehow used all the time?
It is all the time used. Well, essentially what you get is you get the application, which is multi-platform application, mainly set for mobile, so you can use it on a desktop or anything. It's written for the mobile. So you always have your hands a task manager, you have forums, you have basically, everything that is mentioned here. So you can create either polls or complex questionnaires that you send immediately to every employee, and you get the immediate response, which is really rare. So the competency assessment is really also a development and employee assessment tool. If you know this market, usually you would have a lot of time spent and a lot of effort spent for simulating situations where you would have to assess employee behavior, but here you actually have a tool to do it right where they perform, which is, I believe, is the next step. And also there is an information about the employee, so you can really access the profile of the employee. So it's an intranet at your on yourself.
I think this is much more than just an application. It's corporate culture change.
That's exactly.
So you actually understand the change the human resource.
Yeah. Well, this is what I've started essentially from. This is this is what we do.
Yeah.
So manage corporate culture.
Yeah. So based on your experience, who's more likely to adapt to this? Is the HR or communications?
Well, there are two things. Adapt, there is a need to adapt from the entire company. If the CEO or owner would not sell it, it's not going to work. But who's going to manage it? Likely to be in HR. Yeah.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Next up is Eric Farwell.
Hello, my name is Latif, and I'm going to present the Farwell project. Actually, our project name is Farmside. Farmside is a B2B solution that can store any high-risky data, like personal identity information, emails, and credit card information, and keep it secure. Talking about the payment industry, we should remember that this is an industry where circulate $1 trillion. In the United States, people spend much more money than government has in their budget. But this industry has a big risk. And the biggest risk concern the business. The business is responsible for any damage caused by individuals, particular loss of payment cards. And year by year, there is a growing threat of data losses, particular losses of payment card information. And business lose huge money. It measures in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's not only different penalties, but also it's a loss of reputation. And not every business can survive. We're working in this industry for 10 years, and we know that any business will be under the risk while it's keep this information in their systems. And we have a solution that we used in some of our projects, and we know how to protect it, because we should eliminate this information from the system and keep it in this separate storage. And part of this storage that we invented to provide secure payments for our merchants. All payments going around the merchant network. It's never touched their systems, and it's absolutely secure for merchants. It's reminds like PayPal, but PayPal restricts merchants and clients to own server, but we do not restrict. We are working with custom forms. We do absolutely the same like its own system. When using tokenization service, it's just a technology that used by most popular modern payment solution like Apple Pay, for example. And one is a unique system because it can be integrated with any payment system with any bank and without any changes in the information system. Sometimes we only want string of code to integrate this solution for payments. And it can work with any payment card, doesn't matter what. Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or any other national cards. But besides the solution that was created for the global market, payment card that's across the world, and we focus on markets of the United States, Europe, Asia. Monetization model is a pay-per-view. Thank you.
At what stage is your product? Is it ready?
We have a prototype. We have an analysis. We have a development cloud solution, particularly because it can be delivered as a cloud service and also can be delivered as a box software.
What is the competition? How do they do it now? Or is there any competition? Competitors will use it.
Yes, there are some companies who use similar technology, particularly for technologies, and we have our own business implementation service. But unfortunately, this is not really used everywhere. The biggest problem is just how most of the companies are responsible for us who PCI, DSS, level 1 certification, particularly credentials, for example. And they should keep this big security stuff to check internal systems. And we eliminate it. Why we call it PCI? Because we absolutely eliminate this responsibility to use information. It will also decrease the expenses of security. This is very big.
Your tech, is there some IP protection already? Or can it be protected?
No, actually, any information can be protected. This is just how it works. It's very easy because we eliminate this information from system. We replace it with tokens. It's just like numbers. And any request from the web should pass through our system. Everything works for us like it's through Faro. That's why I named this Faro.
But I think he meant patent.
Yes, it's not yes. It's now we're in the process of patenting it in the United States.
Okay, you have filed for it.
Yes, yes. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Next up is Alice Couch.
I can start.
Start.
Hello, my name is Alexander. I'd like to introduce iDiscount. iDiscount is a tool for business which helps to issue discount cards using on your phone and build effective communication with your card holders, with your customers. First of all, let's start from plastic cards and what is now the disadvantage. First of all, today all companies use plastic cards to motivate buyers to make a second purchase, but they have a lot of disadvantages. First of all, they have lack of communication. If you have plastic card, you can communicate with this customer when he isn't in the shop. It's really difficult to implement, especially for small business. I had a retail shop in my past, and it was the problem number one for me because I need to pay for plastic, I need to pay for special software, I need to make any account with my cards, and it's really expensive. So today we can give to business an opportunity to issue electronic cards with our service and to use all advantages of this solution for their business. First of all, electronic discount card is always in the form of client. It's the first side of our project, but it's not the main side. User can't lose your card. We hold all information in the cloud, so if you need to receive your card, you need only to load an application, and you find all your cards you have been received from the shops. It's easy to give card for sure. You need only to fill in the form, and your card will link your customer. So it's really effective to communicate with the customer. If you have a database of your customers, you can use, for example, push service now to send different advertisement, different information to your customer. You don't need to spend money for any advertising if you have a base of your customer. For example, it's important for small business. You have no money to advertise, and you work every day with your customers. You give cards to them, and then you can communicate with them. And sorry, shop.
Thank you.
How are you different from the competition? There's quite many applications like this.
First of all, our applications are trying to solve the problem to hold the cards. It's a problem of the customer. What concerns business, they give a poor function for business to use all these advantages of electronic cards, advantages of communication, for example, push services, they have no such decision. And for today, we have paid clients that first of all need to communicate. It's our main task.
So this solution is best for the ones that don't have anything yet, but they want to start loyalty programs.
For everyone.
But the ones that already have plastic cards, they are not.
We can issue cards even if a client has a plastic card. We well, what do you want?
All right.
Well, thank you.
Hello guys, how are you doing? We're going to eliminate the extreme costs of software bug fixing. We see a lot of innovation happening in the world, and there are lots of web applications. But web application development itself remains quite outdated, expensive, and inefficient in some areas, for instance, in bug fixing itself. And this is quite surprising. And web development is growing, it's over $1 trillion dollars in products and in services. And everybody suffers, developers suffer from this, customers, they suffer from bugs, company spends extreme amounts of money. And you see how much it costs to fix an issue. It's more than about like $10,000, depends on research source, in a single issue in production. And okay, problem is big, and how are we gonna solve it? The solution is extremely simple. As a user uses a web application, we record all his actions, last 3 minutes, and in case he goes to the support and says like, guys, I have a problem, we attach this record into his description of a problem. And after this, the developer can investigate the issue, and he will have all the user actions, all the code of the page, all the changes of this code, all the network requests, responses, all the internal browser information, and the developer can reproduce the issue as if he has on his own computer. So it's like a remote access, remote recorded access to a usable browser. And it has become possible now with smart web browsers, high-speed internet access, and low cost of storing data. We have some competitors, but they are mostly like marketing solutions for marketers, analytics solutions, and there are solutions that catch bugs, but they do not record real like user actions and why the problem has happened. Here is a screenshot, and we see a timeline where the bugs happening, and the page is done here, and we see all the network requests. This business model is rather simple; it's just subscription. We have amazing team. Myself, I have 11 years in software development, and guys, developers, you are very welcome to go to qual.com and install it. We are going to eliminate software bugs together. Thanks.
So it's a web app or browsers, or it's on the server
It is
side.
a script, and in just 2 simple actions you install it in the web pages of application, and your customers don't need to install anything, and developers just install it in like several lines of code, and after this it is just working. It is works as a solution, and we have an API that simplifies code development.
Businesses deploy that, and customers, they just use it, they don't have to worry about anything. If something crashes, there's
it will automatically collect the results.
But it sounds too good, it's like, why you are the first one?
Well, I've talked to many guys, like I tried to sell this to many companies, and first, some companies create something similar, somewhat similar inside of the companies. But it's not like that good, because it is like for very specific needs, and they kind of spend the internal resources onto this. And also, they use several tools, like a collection of tools, but they do not really solve the problem. Really, like they need to use, for instance, like UX tools to understand, like, and if somebody clicks, like, they see, like, why he clicks, like, so many times on this button, okay, it doesn't work. So they use collection of tools, and they build internal tools, and yeah, I had this question like many years ago, honestly, and I thought like Microsoft or somebody would create something like this, but
I think we have actually. If I'm not mistaken.
For web applications, you have lots of tools for this code, but not for web applications.
Well, I would say we have something. We have tools to track where site crashes exactly, like.
Celery?
No, not the like our own.
But you can make the fastest text ever.
But I'm not completely sure that it's exactly the same, but something similar.
Yeah, I've talked to many developers, like, and I spoke with my developers and with lots of guys, different technologies, and yeah. I think it's great.
You already have traction, so you can see results already.
Like there are several like. It's kind of hard to sign up companies for this because I need to sign up companies. I have 2 companies who have installed this in their production and use. Like about 20 companies they kind of at least tried to do something with. I know them, like this 20, I know them personally. These 2, I talk to them like via Skype or face to face and sell this. I've like run some tests like for marketing. For instance, I created a video, posted on local community of software like technical people, like QA, test developers, and they were quite interested. I was on some conferences, so I have kind of checked like the conversion rates for videos, for different for articles, for different stuff.
You get the idea, like what was the other company that had this? And you actually could also sell this licenses to platforms. I mean, these Wixes and services.
Yeah. But I mostly like think that it would like brings most value to companies who develop web applications, quite difficult, quite complex. For instance, I guess who use drag and drop and you like align stuff in the web page. And for customers, it's almost impossible to explain like why the problem happened.
Yeah.
What you did, like I just drag guys, just did something, just broken.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Weber.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nikita. I present Lighter, first interactive ebook app. So, personal effectiveness and time value are very important these days, and we know that reading, with no doubt, is one of the most important parts of it. And let me ask you, people for whom it's sometimes difficult to find time for reading, read late writing. Yeah, okay, and so do I, and it's really bothers me, and we have a solution. In our applications, there is 3 modes of reading are available. It's text, audio mode without no need to download audio track, and speed reading technology. I must mention that there is a calculation of reading of the speed in every mode. One of our main features is reading time creation, so you can choose number of days you need to finish the book, you can choose date in calendar, and you can choose minutes per day for reading. After reading plan creation, all information about spend time and time you need to finish the book are available. You can see projected end day and more. And it's not only time management, it's motivation, because tomorrow you want to read more than today. Next, our main features is user group creation. Imagine you're a teacher, you invite students to your group, you add literature, and you control reading within the group. Moreover, you can make notes and you can discuss it online. With geolocation, you can see all users around you, and you can see top books and active users by city, region, and country. our competitors are known, and their main advantage is existence of their own libraries and bookstores, but we are working on this issue and we finding partners. Monetization is B2B. We are talking about coach, teachers, and educational institutions. So they give money us for group creation, and we give money them for group subscription. And B2C, we are talking about usual users. What's done? First version is developed in the Google App Store. The side project is created, and we have first publication. So stay motivated, be more productive, read more than you can, and use library.
There's text and there's audio with no need to download audiobooks.
Yeah. So I can show you. You just choose a word.
Okay.
It's
And
pronounced on different languages?
Yep.
And it sounds like everything. It sounds like Siri or I mean, I listen to lots of audiobooks and for some readers are great and others are, I mean, the book might be great, but you just can't listen to it.
Of course, it's not like audio track, but it's just iOS feature, and sometimes it can be.
Okay. But it's there already. I mean, you said to read any text website, so it's okay.
But it's not the main feature.
Okay.
No question?
I make one later.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Next up is Jaroslav.
There's one name.
Hello, I'm going to use microphone. My name is Alex. I represent a team of 6 people. We're working on the project called NeoSound. NeoSound is an innovative tool which allows you to create your own music in a natural and easy way. Just singing the desired melody to your smartphone. It will be recognized and played back to you with a chosen instrument. Guitar, piano, whatever you choose from the list. The idea came from the understanding that, for example, just 20 years ago, only professionals with the big expensive cameras were able to make photo images. Nowadays, everybody have a camera in their smartphone. The same, we believe, will happen in the future with the music. People want to be more interactive with the music and sounds. So our tool will allow everybody to become a compositor. So once again, you sing a melody into the microphone of your smartphone, and as a result, you will hear this melody played with the chosen instrument. I will show you. We have a simple prototype, and I pre-record the melody. And the result. This example is not perfect, it's intentional, but we have, because I don't want to pretend that everything works perfectly, but our algorithms are much better than ones of our competitors. And there is a lot of proofs of them. Half of the year, we are testing our prototype and improving it. We made a big competitor analysis. We beat Kesso. Kesso developed a Cordana composer which works not very nice. I can show you later if you want. And the last achievements, we started to develop a client because 1 year we just were concentrated on developing of algorithms on the server side. And as a result, we got just a few days ago, the first place at the Investor Day competition in Vilnius. We have a team who have all the competitions, all the expertise needed. And if you want, you can go and check the prototype. But this one is not nice, it's just for technicians. We started to develop Android application, which is better. Business model framework. Thank you.
This is interesting because I also do music. Have you been thinking that this is a consumer app instead of an algorithm that you could sell for band in a box for guys like that who already do these composition software?
As I understood your question, so the app is just one step to change the world. I mean, people want to be more interactive with music, which means that the similar algorithms could be implemented in many things, from entertainment to, for example, applications for disabled people who cannot speak, and we're already looking in this direction. Do you mean this? For example, Shazam, it's also in the slide with competitors. It's here because we, for example, can improve Shazam. You don't need the source, original source of music. You can sing it, and it will be recognized and found in the database. We believe in the future. I mean.
Yeah. I just see that, band in a box, which is the most famous one of composition software, is really for nerds.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to use. So you actually have a million chances here.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of software like this, but our application initially is just for somebody who doesn't know what is notes and doesn't have any musical education. He didn't hold any instrument in their hands, etc.
So you basically have an option to do own consumer service, which is like a nice app, or then sell these algorithms to
Yes. Yes, I believe. I'm sure. Thank you.
No, that's it. That's it for the pitches time. Okay. Thank you for the pitches. It's now 11:30. We have a few people getting food at the moment, so we should have food sometime soon.